Spirit was showing me during this fast was that, Avanti, it doesn't matter what you eat. As long as you believe that you're unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy, because mind over matter. Hi YouTube, my name is Avanti, and today I want to discuss my experience with fasting. Yes, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. It's such a cool topic for me, and I just love this experience that I had, and I've just really want to share it. Okay, so back in 2020, 2021, I went on a fast, and the things I learned on this fast, bro, like the stuff that I discovered, the information that I was channeling, like wild. And I just really want to share it because I know I'm meant to. So this fast taught me some extremely valuable, life-changing, life-altering, perspective-changing lessons, all right? And I know that it'll do the same for other people, because the people that I have shared this information with in my personal life, they love it and they feel the same way. All right, so when I was growing up, there was a point in my life where I was like super into like vegetarianism, veganism, and things like that, dairy free. And originally it started because I just had a love for nature, a love for animals, and it was very like environmentally eco-friendly type of decision on why I wanted to be like plant-based, right? So when I was like a kid, like in middle school and like high school, I decided to like be vegetarian for like a month or so. I really was trying to do it. I was trying to stick to it, but y'all know how well that went over in my mama's house. Like, child, I was in there starving. But it was something that I always stayed sort of passionate about and I was really into. And when I like something, or if something like spikes my interest, I deep dive. Like I learned this through my astrology chart as well, but like I just have this like obsessive type of personality trait, and I just want to know about it and be around it and just read about it and just watch videos. Like I just surround myself with something that is very interesting to me. I become very obsessed with it. So that's how I was with this lifestyle. So when I got older and I was in a position to be like, okay, you know what, I can actually be vegan or be vegetarian and not starve because I'm grown now. I got my own money, like, you know, so I can eat however I want to eat. Around this time, I had started to really be into veganism specifically. And even more specifically, I was really into Dr. Sebi. So if you don't know who Dr. Sebi is, he is a self-proclaimed doctor from Honduras, and he is very big on the alkaline diet. So he followed an alkaline diet. An alkaline diet is basically, it's a vegan diet, but the subcategory of it is that the foods, everything that you consume is alkaline. So just like with everything, you know, certain things have an alkalinity base and an acidic base. And his diet was that you only eat alkaline foods, only consume alkaline foods. And the whole concept behind it is that the body is meant to be in an alkaline state. So when the body is acidic or too acidic, it's compromised, and it becomes a breeding ground for illnesses, disease, mucus buildup, and things like that all throughout your body. And it is the origin of illness, all illnesses and ailments, right? So he had this, so he himself actually had diabetes in his younger days, and he decided to go alkaline, and he actually fasted. So my fast was just a replication of his. It was modeled after his fast, which was, he preached that if you fast for 3 months on, I believe it was just water and herbs, or maybe it was water, smoothie, and herbs. So basically how it works is that, so you know how your body creates new cells every so often? Well, within 3 months time, your body is completely different as far as the cells that it creates, right? So all the cells that's in your body are new cells. So if you've only been feeding those cells an alkaline diet, then no disease will be able to thrive within your body because your body is just completely alkaline. So like that's like the idea and the concept. And it's true because People in history, Dr. Sebi isn't the first person to discover this. People in history have cured themselves through alkaline-based diets before. So I was super intrigued. I thought it was so cool. And at this point in my life, like I said, I have generated just this entire collection of things that I consume, not actually through my mouth, but consume like in my life, like read, watch, listen to. And I followed a bunch of vegan pages. I followed a bunch of vegan YouTubers, and just was really immersed in this world and really learning about it and being so interested in it, right? So I decided to go on this fast. And when I went on this fast, I prepped everything for it. I got my waters, I got my alkaline herbs. I went on Etsy, ordered some. I got my smoothies because I decided to do it with smoothies. I don't know if he did, I can't remember. But I was drinking my fruit smoothies and things like that, right? Okay, now you got the backstory. So now I'm gonna tell you the lessons that I learned from this fast, okay? Let me just say, I genuinely enjoyed the experience. I felt super connected to source. I felt so light in my body. I felt like I would get channeled messages immediately. Like anytime I wondered something or asked a question, it just made me feel so confident. I just had I was in such alignment with myself that I had not a question and a doubt that anything that I was manifesting was coming to me. I was just so pure. I just really felt pure during this time, right? So I'm about a month into the fast, and I remember just asking out loud. I just asked Spirit. I said, Spirit, I need a book. Send me a book. And Spirit did just that. So I was on one of my favorite YouTubers, watching a video. Her name is Elizabeth April. And I just was going through the comments on the video, and somebody dropped a book in the comments, and I knew immediately, instantly, that was my book that I was asking for. This is the book that Spirit wants me to read right now. I just asked Spirit for a book. It's been delivered to me. Let me go get this book. The name of the book was called You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. What? First of all, everybody on this planet and they mama and they grandmammy need to read this book, okay? Like, it's just one of those. It's just one of those. You're going to learn what no one else is going to teach you, and it is going to change your life forever. Hands down, hands down. No lies told. So this book literally teaches you how you are the placebo. So if you don't know what a placebo is, it's when you have some sort of medical condition or disease or problem going on, and you go to the doctor and they prescribe you a pill that is either just a water pill or a sugar pill. But they tell you that it's the cure to whatever medical issues that you're having, right? But it's actually not the cure, because the only thing that's in this pill is literally water. So they've found that prescribing a placebo is actually healing patients. But how if the prescription is just water, right? So what's actually healing these patients? Their mind, their belief that this pill is gonna heal them. So in other words, he just teaches you how to heal yourself with your mind, literally. And to me, the best part about the book isn't even that. It's how he breaks it down and explains it to you scientifically, making it make logical sense and explaining it neurologically, and how you wire your brain to literally heal yourself and cure yourself from any condition, any disease, and any illness. So now you know what a placebo is. And so what I was being told here is that your physical experience does not matter as much as your mental experience. So what that means is that essentially whatever you believe is the truth for you. So if you believe that you will be cured by doing this, then you will be cured by doing this, right? And this same girl from YouTube, Elizabeth April, I was watching one of her videos one day, and she said something so profound. I hope I can find it. But this video was so beautiful. And it was her discussing how when you're doing something that is known as being bad for you, bad as in unhealthy, you obsessing over the fact that this thing is unhealthy, but while still doing it, is only aiding the problem and making it worse. So the example that she used is that if you smoke cigarettes and you just have no intention on stopping, or it's just hard for you to stop, the last thing that you should be doing is dwelling on how the cigarette is negatively affecting your body. Because all you're doing is you're just adding fuel to the fire of negativity. You're just fueling the negativity, right? And what you believe is what your reality is. So by you constantly obsessing over this thing harming you, the thing is going to harm you. The best thing to do in that case is to neutralize and transmute that energy. So I'm listening to all of these things and I'm just like, I know that I'm supposed to be hearing this right now, because at this point in my life, what I really discovered that really upset me, and I cried about this during my fast, and I knew the cry was the release, but I discovered that I had a fear of food. Food scared me. Food had power over me because I was fearful of it. Legit. I was afraid to eat certain things. And when I had to, or when I did eat those certain things, all I could think about was how those certain things were negatively affecting me. And so I knew in that moment, all the things the Spirit was showing me during this fast was that, Avanti, it doesn't matter what you eat. As long as you believe that you're unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy, because mind over matter. What you believe is what your reality is, regardless of all else. And so I had this epiphany, like, ironically, me obsessing over the negative thing, me obsessing and aiding this fear is only making it more negative, right? And it makes sense. When you think about law of attraction, you're just attracting whatever you're thinking, right? It makes sense when you put it in those terms, but I was so far in, I was so deep into this thing. This was years and years of me just obsessing over this lifestyle and this diet. I was just so shook. Like, I was just at a state of just like, wow. And I had to cry to release it, because I was releasing that fear and the awareness of that's really what it was at its core. And I knew it was real whenever I messaged this one girl on Instagram. I'll have to link her stuff. She has her own business, and she actually she follows the vegan alkaline diet, and her business is related to that. And I was asking her different questions about fasting, because this was the longest I had ever fasted. And about this time, I was like a month and a half in. And so she specifically told me the same thing. It doesn't matter what you consume. If you overly obsess over being unhealthy, then you're gonna attract an unhealthy body, an unhealthy lifestyle. That's what you're gonna bring in, because that's all you're thinking about. It doesn't matter what you eat if your mental state is bad. If you have a negative mental state, then that is what's gonna reflect in your reality, right? And I was just laughing, because everything that I was being taught on this fast was telling me that. And I knew that's what I needed to know. That was really the key. That's what I needed. And I know that the reason I specifically needed to hear that is because I am meant to be limitless. We are all limitless. And I am meant to know that and walk down that path and live in that. And me obsessing over food and allowing food to have control over me, and me having fear over it and it having that power, was not in my highest alignment. It was not the life I was supposed to be living, and it was not serving my highest good. So it was really important for me to hear this information, and specifically at this time, because this fast was me fasting. And after the fast, I was going to be completely alkaline vegan for as long as I possibly could. But that wasn't my path. It just wasn't. Because the reason I was choosing that path was based off of fear and anxiety. And I wasn't meant to live a life where food controls my health. or my mind or my state of being. And it became even more real for me whenever another YouTuber that I follow and that I love, I think her name now is Organic Valadia. I hope I'm saying it right, but I'm gonna link her and hopefully the video if I can find it. She has been vegan for several years, and that is how I had came onto her channel. And I was so shook and surprised when she decided to make the transition from like veganism to consuming, she wasn't vegan anymore, okay? The community was so pissed, which I'm gonna talk about the community a little bit later too. But what she stated that was so profound for me. She gave the analogy or the example of having McDonald's. Let's say you broke, you ain't got no money, and the only thing that you can eat is something deemed unhealthy, like a McDonald's meal. She was stating, if that's all that you have in front of you to eat it with gratitude. Eat it with mindfulness. Be grateful that you have something to eat. Put good energy into it. Speak good energy into it. Bless the food. Pray for the food. That's all that prayer is you speaking good energy into it so that it can heal your body. Even if it's something that has been deemed unhealthy, speak health into that. You know why? Because you have the power to manipulate energy. You are a conscious being. You are an intelligent being. So therefore, you have the power to create your reality. See, that's the other thing that I learned is that these laws, these universal laws, are not subjective. They're objective, meaning that the laws don't change based on the subject, based on the situation or the scenario. The laws always remain. The laws are absolute. So regardless, I create my reality, regardless of what I consume, because I'm limitless. Right? And yes, it's true. Everything has its own vibration. This food may have a low vibrational energy. It may have low vibrations. But especially if that's all that you have to consume right now, because you can't afford anything else, then make that thing a fucking high vibrational meal by speaking your life and your power source and your energy source into it. Bless the food. Raise the vibration of it. Ask your body to only absorb what is healthy of the food, and everything else your body knows to just release it and let it go.
But don't be hard on yourself. It's all about just what your intentions are. If you're not able to eat something healthy, then at least have pure intentions. If you're sitting in front of a plate of McDonald's and you're letting yourself feel guilt and self-harm and anxiety about the fact that you're eating it, if that's the only thing you were able to get in that moment, say to yourself, say out loud that this food right now is going to nourish me. My body is going to take what it needs and rid itself of what it doesn't need. You know, talk about the different items you have on your plate and what they're gonna do for you and how they're gonna make you feel. And honestly, I feel like that's way better than eating a meal that was healthier than McDonald's and being upset about it. I think that the energy you're putting into the food, it matters. And if you're putting positive energy into the food, it might do you way better than feeling guilty about it.
I loved learning this stuff. Like, I'm just getting fed right now. Just excuse me. I'm just having like a enlightenment orgasm. Like, I don't even know. And when she said that went back to the other video that I watched from Elizabeth April, where she was talking about the cigarette, smoking the cigarette. If you're smoking the cigarette and all you're thinking about is how badly it's gonna give you cancer and fuck this up in your body, all you're doing is manifesting that bad thing to happen. If it's already bad, just let it be bad on its own. Don't add to the negativity on top of it. And it's the same with food. And no, it's not an excuse to just eat unhealthy or just to just consume whatever. It's not an excuse for that. But what this does, it shows you who has the power. The food does not have more power than you. This is what I had to learn, okay? So I'm speaking to 2020 Avanti. This food does not have more power than what you have. You have innate power. Enough power. You are so conscious and so intelligent and so powerful that this meal that scientists have deemed unhealthy, you can speak positivity into this food and it not harm you, because you create the reality that you live in. That's the law. So the girl, Organic Valadia, got a lot of backlash from the vegan community, right? There's some things that I just don't like about the vegan community, to the point where I knew after I fasted, I had to mute, block, or unfollow a lot of vegan accounts that I had been following. The reason being is because they did nothing but aid my anxiety. They did nothing but fuel my anxiety for food by telling me that I was gonna die if I ate this, by telling me that I was gonna die if I ate that, by telling me that I was gonna get this disease and this illness and this was gonna happen to me and these deformities. Like, all it did was just feed that anxious spirit within me. And I didn't need that anymore. I had moved past that. I had graduated from that level. I've graduated from the level of allowing my circumstances to create my reality. I create my reality, right? And that was what I needed, the lesson that I needed. Listen, I can't tell anyone how to run their page or preach what they want to preach, right? But I really would have preferred, and I enjoy hearing about food in a more positive way, okay? Because I know that I have that anxiety around it. And so hearing about how much it's harming me, again, only adding on top of that negativity. That's all that it's doing. All it's doing is manifesting that even more so in my reality. And another great lesson that I learned through fasting was that experience and that feeling of alignment that you get when you fast can be achieved even when you're not fasting. I learned that the only time that you really cut yourself off from source, from spirit, from God, from the universe, the only time that you are ever not connected, disconnected, and out of alignment is when you disconnect yourself, when you believe that you are disconnected. That's the only time that you're not in receiving mode, is when you believe that you are not. Simple, flat out, period. I realized that feeling that I loved and enjoyed so much while fasting, feeling in alignment, confident, pure, light, I can feel that even when I'm not fasting. You know why? Because I get to choose my reality, not based off of my circumstances and not based off of what I'm doing, because I'm worthy and deserving regardless. That's the idea and that's the concept. So another thing that I learned from Elizabeth April is intuitively eating. So she speaks on having an intuitive diet, which really just means what it sounds like. You just eat intuitively. You just eat based off of your intuition. Whatever my body is craving, I trust in myself, in my higher self, and I'm aligned. And so I trust that my body knows what it needs. So whatever it tells me that it wants in this moment, I give it to it. And that's just on period. Because I think that, and I'm noticing that a lot of people are moving towards this way of thinking as well. Not even just with this diet specifically, but in the way of limitless thinking, to where this physical reality does not matter as much as what I cannot see. Let me explain, because that sounded very confusing. The 3D, the physical, tangible reality, is not more important. In fact, it's actually less important, in my opinion, than what is behind the scenes, which is the spiritual reality, which is the reality that we can't see, which is the energy that we all possess and that we all have, right? Because energy never dies, right? So energy is infinite. This physical reality is finite. Eventually it's going to end, right? Your life is going to end. So the whole point of me saying that is that the energy that you possess, the energy that you hold within yourself, the energy that you transmit outwardly is more important, because that is what's creating your reality. That food isn't creating my reality. I create my reality. That person isn't creating my reality. I do. That thing isn't doing it. I am. Only me, always, forever. Right? So that means that I have the full power over it. Again, the laws is absolute. I have the full power over my experience. Not that food. But I was hearing other things from the vegan community. So I had to cut that off. I had to cut it off because to me, that is limiting. It's limiting me. It's limiting my experience here on earth. So what I do now is I intuitively eat. I eat what I want to. And guess what? I'm still healthy. You know why? Because I say I am. Period. And I still do sometimes intentionally consume things that I know hold a higher vibration because I know that it does help me. But what this does is it allows me to still eat the things that have been deemed or that I have been brainwashed and I've programmed myself to believe that it's not good for me. When I eat those things won't affect me negatively because I say that they don't. And I create my reality. It's that simple. So yeah, that's the whole concept. I think I said everything that I had to say. I could talk about this forever. And I'll probably make another video or whatever. But, I think that's all that I have for now. But let me sit here and think for a minute. One thing that I did want to say, though, is that I am still passionate about helping the planet, saving the planet, helping animals and saving animals. Although I'm not against eating animals, I do want society globally, collectively, to consume in more environmentally and eco-friendly ways. That is something that I do still believe in. And I believe that that is 100% obtainable on a mainstream, global, commercial scale. All right, so let's discuss the takeaways. The takeaways is you create a reality, nothing else. You are limitless. Bless your food, whatever it may be grateful for it. Thank God for the food. Thank God for the hands that prepared it. Thank God for the money that bought it. Thank God for the animal that was sacrificed for it. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for whatever you consume. Change your mind so that you can change the matter. The matter being the literal atoms, scientific matter. You're only ever cut off when you believe that you are, and no other time. You are the most powerful being here. There is nothing that can manipulate energy the way that you do. There is nothing else that can create your reality for you. That means that your energy trumps all other energy in this 3D reality, including food. I know these concepts are probably so out there for some people. For some people, probably not. But I just hope that this resonates with who it needs to resonate with. And I just hope that there is something, if nothing, gained from this conversation. Take it or leave it. Thank you for listening, and I love you.